Hi there and welcome. The new football season is just days away and we're getting very excited here. We love betting, this is what we're all about. We love betting and we love talking about betting in football, and that's what we're doing tonight. With me tonight is Nick Watts. How's it going, Nick?
I'm good, thank you, Chris. I am very much looking forward to the new season. I'm craving a bet that doesn't involve the Olympics because that hasn't gone very well.
Yeah, me neither. And Marco here from Sportingbet, our bookmaker represent. How you doing, Mark?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Chris. Just can't wait to get the new season started now. It's not been a long time, but
we're gagging for it. We're talking about who will win League One and League Two, who we think might be value for promotion in both divisions, and who we think might take the plunge, get relegated from League One and League Two over the rest of the season. We'll start by looking at who wins League One, and I'll mention some of the betting. For Sheffield United, clear favourites at 6-1 best price. We've got MK Dons at 8-1, and Swindon, Power Academy Swindon, just up from League Two, of course, at 10-1. Nick, I'm going to start with you here. And I want to talk to you about Sheffield United. Just missed out, of course, last season in the playoff final, the longest penalty shootout I can ever remember against Huddersfield. How do you see their prospects this season?
I think they can, first of all, count themselves a bit unlucky that they didn't get promoted last season. They got 90 points, and although the last couple of years, obviously the standard's been a bit higher, some bigger teams down there, that hasn't been enough. 5 years prior to that, it was enough, and I think, they will feel a little bit hard done by on that front. That said, probably the three best teams from the division went up last year. They are now officially the big fish down there, and after many seasons seeing a lot of big fish down there, they seem to be in the minority on that front. That said, big fish maybe, but there are a few suspicions that their finances aren't entirely in order. There was a few redundancies in non-playing staff this summer, which just kind of suggests that all is not entirely well at Bramall Lane. They sold Matt Loughton, of course, to Aston Villa for £3 million, and that could make some funds available. Brought in John Kofi, the young lad from Manchester United, and Sean Miller from Crewe. Bit of a strange signing, that one. He hasn't had an entirely brilliant time at Crewe. But they're obviously trying to replace the goals with Ched Evans, who is unavailable at the moment. So, the positives for them are that 3 of the top 5 in the betting got promoted last year, and there's a lot pointing to the fact this is a weaker League One than ever. But those little doubts over their finances, just the fact that everyone expects them to win it, means that they're a little bit too short for me, and I would swerve them.
I think Nick makes a great point. I think it's a very weak section this year. Remember last year, probably the best ever League One section, and I think it's considerably weaker this year, Mark. And we're going to talk about the second favourites in the bet, which is MK Dons, who got knocked out in the semi-finals of the playoffs back in May. Any chance of winning better this year?
I think so. I mean, I talked them up last year as well, and sadly they failed again in the playoffs. Again, second season running they've lost to the team who've actually been promoted via the playoffs as well. And we're actually 8-1 top price on MK Dons. Our traders have sort of taken a view that it's going to be another season of misery there, but I've sort of differed with them. I've had a chat with them. I don't really understand where they're coming from, because I think they've got the best midfield in the division. I think they've signed a great striker in Ryan Lowe, who's come up from Sheffield Wednesday, and he's come back down to MK Dons, and I don't really see why. I think there's a bit of strangeness about that move. They're obviously flashing a bit of cash around, and I just look at them and I think they drew 14 times last season, and that's basically what's cost them. Nick's mentioned some great points there about every other team in this league being pretty much weaker from last year, and let's bear in mind that I think it's 17 years now since the League One favourite actually won the outright title. So why not look at the second favourites, and MK Dons at 8-1? I think they're a great value at that price.
Good shout. Anything else, guys, you think from outside the top 2 that might challenge to actually win the championship now?
Well, I'm going to start by being particularly rubbish here. It's a really tough market for me, this one, purely because of Mark's stat there, which really underlines the fact that it's not easy to predict. No matter how many big teams are down there, it's tough to predict who's going to win League One. I did pick Charlton last year, but I don't want to brag too much. Mark will get upset. For me, there's a lot of points I agree about MK Dons with Mark. They are probably the most stable of the likely contenders. And in that sense, I could see them going well. But would I be willing to back them at the 8-1 that's floating around out there? I'm not entirely sure, Chris.
Sure. Mark, anything else outside Sheffield United and MK Dons that you think could win the league?
Yeah. I think you'll probably know where I'm going to come from here, Chris. It's Bournemouth again. I love Bournemouth.
South Coast boy.
12-1 to win outright. Okay, it's probably just teetering on probably the right price. They're 4-1 to get promoted, but I do like that 12s. Another strange summer at Bournemouth. Eddie Mitchell, the chairman, is coming out with his wacky statements here and there. He's demanding promotion, demanding an outright title win as well. So basically the pressure's on, and they've got Paul Groves in charge, who a lot of the Bournemouth fans aren't too pleased about. He's not a fashionable name, he's not a big name, but I think that's going to work in their favour, because I don't think you need that. He's made some astute signings. Lewis Graben from Rotherham, Eunan O'Kane from Torquay, who's a fantastic player, who deserves to be playing at a higher level than League Two, and I think with the money behind them, they can do things in this league. There's not a lot of cash floating around League One this year, and if they spend another £200,000 on a player, then who knows what might happen. But I like them at 12-1.
Nice one. Let's wrap up then. Your bet, or maybe in your case, your no bet, to win League One. You were first, quickly.
I would swerve the market. Yeah.
And Mark.
Dons at 8 and Bournemouth at 12-1.
Wow, well, there we go then. MK Dons and Bournemouth for Marco here. Nick, taking a conservative approach by stepping out the ring, stepping out the League One ring. It's got to be a great season.